We're joined by the man himself, Tyler, once again in California. He is a world record mountain hiker extraordinaire type of guy. I'm just going to plug you totally here, Tyler. And you can tell me if I'm leaving out something, but I think the most important thing to say is he is a Boy Scout as well. And Tyler, the last time we talked, you were getting ready to take on the world's biggest challenge, which was hiking Everest. Now that's taken a bit of a setback. Tell us a little story about what's happened.
Okay, so what happened is a couple months ago, like 2 months ago, probably in January, the Chinese changed the law to every mountain that's over 8,000 meters has you have to be 18 years old instead of 16. So they added 2 more years to the age limit, like the beginning age, and then a month later they told us should we, and then they told us that they didn't want to go back on their law their first year they made the law. So then they told us that it's not going to happen this year. And then we tried everything we could, but nothing really happened. So we're going to try again next year for it.
Well, just to fill in our listeners, the last time we talked to Tyler, Tyler was telling us about how he gets up at like the crack of dawn, does his own exercises, running by the lake. You've been planning this out for nearly a year and a half now at this stage. I say now, I know as an adult, if I was training that much, I go to the gym maybe twice a week if I'm lucky. So I know you're fitter than me, but how did you take that? That must have been really tough to take.
Yeah, it was definitely not the easiest thing to just get over with. But even if I do it next year, I'll still have the record for it. So try to think of like the pros of it and not the cons
Mm.
of going to Everest, like not going to Everest. I'm sorry. And then yeah, then me and my parents, we talked about different mountains we can do. So like this June, we're gonna go to Mount Denali. We're gonna go to Denali to go climb their mountain. We're gonna
Mm.
go climb the mountain, and because a lot of people, when we were trying to climb Everest, a lot of people saying he can't do it. He needs to climb Denali first, and so climbing Denali before Everest now will get a lot of those naysayers to be like, okay, he's climbed Denali, now we can let him. So there'll be much less controversy, and then the Chinese will have something more to look at and be like, oh, this, why did we not let him go?
Well, it's a nice way of putting it, Tyler. Just every time someone knocks you down, you're getting back up again, and you just keep on climbing these mountains. And so I was looking at your blog, topwithtyler.com. Just plug the website there. The first time I've plugged the website in this interview, and it's something like. Am I right in saying it's nearly a 3 week expedition that you'd be doing?
For Denali,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
yeah, it's every expedition could vary because in Alaska there's a lot of bad weather. So we can be there for 3 weeks. We can be there for a month and a half. We can be there for 2 weeks. It all just depends on the weather. But as climbers, we've made extra time. So if we need extra time, we can have the extra time. But it's a definitely long expedition and a very brutal expedition.
Do you think this is going to be tougher than Everest, or do you think you're ready?
It's definitely gonna be tougher than Everest. And it's tougher than Everest because there's no like help on the mountain. The only help there is they fly you in an airplane to like 7,000 feet. But after that, there's like no yaks like on Everest, and you have to carry everything yourself. And you have to carry a sled. So you have a backpack on that's probably around 40 pounds, and then you have a sled that's probably around 50 to 60 pounds. So it's definitely harder, and there's a lot more crevasses and a lot more. It's more mentally hard
Mm.
because there's a lot more bad terrain. So you have to be like mentally prepared. Like right by the summit, there's this thing called the knife's edge, and it's like this little tiny walkway. So on both sides there's like sheer cliffs, and you need a lot of mental ability to tell yourself you can get across, which is unlike Everest. So it's definitely harder than Everest, but I think I can do it because
You're
I
Tyler Armstrong. You can do it.
yeah.
Just listen to the. I'm just listening to you, and I'm just in awe. Like the amount of research that you have done. You're 12 years of age. You know about crevices. You know about. Okay, I'm going to get to near the top of the mountain. This is the hard bit. You've looked into this in detail already.
Yeah.
So, what type of training is it? Is the much training different now that you're going to have to carry stuff? I guess your training scheme has taken up leaps and bounds.
For Denali, we're doing the same exact training as we would do for Everest.
Hmm.
So like we're still doing twice a day workouts. I get it on the treadmill and I put the backpack on in the morning. Then at night I have soccer practice or I like go jogging or something. We do the same exact workouts as if we were going to Everest.
What did you do training wise?
Um, and then we also for Denali, we went to Mount Broken Top in Oregon, and what we did there is we pretended like that mountain was Denali, and we built like snow caves. We acted like it was Denali, like every scenario, and we did everything. So it's like we're on Denali. And then we also carried the sleds all the way. So it was a really hard class, but it was just to help us with Denali.
So, when do you hope to set off on this expedition?
We leave to Denali on June 4th.
Wow, that's like only a month away. That's
Yep.
that's crazy. So we were joking earlier on, listeners. This guy is ready. This guy is like he just wants to put on his backpack and get on this plane at this very moment in time. Now, I was looking at your blog, and your dad might explain a bit more, but and we'll get talking to him in a couple of minutes. But because your whole plan to climb Everest has changed, you're on this massive fundraiser now to fund this latest expedition.
Yeah, and then we're still. It's definitely a lot of money. Denali is $40,000. It's not expensive Everest, but it's still a lot of money. And to go to Denali and Everest it's definitely hard, and it's not easy to get a lot of money usually. And I think I've only raised like $50,000 around there in my mountaineering career. So and that's like a Denali trip, and we still need 100,000 for Everest. So it's definitely hard to fundraise. And then, but one of the things is the school they're doing a mountaineering climb. Not much of a mountaineering climb. Their class is going to Mount Major, and they're raising money for Duchenne, which would be really nice of them. So people are like doing like little fundraisers to help Duchenne, but it's definitely not not easy to get the amount of money that we need to go climb.
Now, to remind our listeners, this is what you do it all for. This is your ultimate aim. Now, you mentioned 50,000 you've already raised from the moment you have started all these hikes, and we're going to show a couple of clips on Scouting Radio of your different hikes and expeditions you have already been on. So, your ultimate aim is to raise $1 million for Duchenne. Now, for those listeners who don't know what Duchenne is, you're the expert. You're nearly the nurse that can spiel this off every time. What is Duchenne?
Duchenne is a muscular dystrophy that only affects boys, and 300,000 boys have it worldwide. And what it does is whenever a regular person works out, their muscles they get bigger and stronger. And but with the boys with Duchenne, whenever even when they walk, their muscles get smaller and smaller and smaller. And sadly, because the heart's a muscle, after usually at the age of 20, they usually die because their heart's a muscle and it deteriorates.
Wow. So your funding has helped find cures for this muscular disease, and raising $50,000 already, and you're not even a teenager, is some achievement in itself. along with the fact that this guy is a world record holder. Now, I'm going to touch into your scouting because last time we talked, you had just gone up into scouts, you had become a patrol leader, you're now about a year or so into the program. I say you're just wiping the floor with all the badges that you can get.
Yeah, and yeah, for Boy Scouts, I try to go every meeting and we try to go every camp out because it's just a lot of fun. It's kind of like mountaineering because I get to hike all the time
Mm.
and camping's a lot of fun.
But
The only bad thing is like I know the older boys they get to go to what's that? They have like this one big climb that's like 8,000 feet, and they go to. That what mountain is that they go
Half
to?
Dome, is it?
I can't, it's some high altitude camp.
It's like
Okay.
just some high altitude camp that's like around 8,000 feet, and I was training the boys. I was training the older kids to go,
Mm-hmm.
and I still couldn't go because
Aww.
it's the age limit. But they didn't like leave any exceptions, which is it's a bummer because I can do it, but I can't. They
Everyone keeps on getting on your nerves about your age and saying you can't do this, and we've already proven that you can. It must be such a take back, but
it's like super aggravating. Like I've proved myself, and I can't go on a mountain that's 8,000 feet.
can you not just hold up your Guinness record like behind your scout master and just go, "Hey, look, look how high I've climbed already."
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But look, rules are rules, and unfortunately, we can't bend them. But you have found ways of getting around them. What rank are you now? You must be getting on with your ranks in Scouts.
Yeah, I am second class right now.
Wow! So you could by the time you're 13, 14, you could have your Eagle Scout.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, this guy's wiping off the badges. The only thing that's setting him back is rules saying that he's too young to do things. So if people want to help you get to Denali, 4th of June, you fly out. Wait, okay, give us a bit of your planned itinerary. You fly out on the 4th of June.
Yeah, we fly out on the 4th of June, and then we drive over to Keetna for like a day or two. Then we go to Denali. We get we fly in Denali on the 7th.
Hmm.
So we fly into Alaska on the 4th. We fly into Denali at 7,000 feet on June 7th. And then I have no idea what's happening after that, really, because
It all
yeah,
depends on weather conditions and.
exactly. So we can summit on the 20th. We can summit in August. I doubt it, but we can summit in August if we really were desperate like
So
that.
you could be over there for the whole summer.
Pretty, not really, but we could if we wanted to and we had enough food, but I don't really think so.
I bet you're looking forward to this at this stage. The most important thing is I keep on hearing you mention your soccer practice time and time again. Don't get injured. it's probably the thing that I'll say to you the most. Wrap yourself up in bubble wrap or something, or make sure you have the shin pads on.
Yeah.
Okay, Tyler. Again, it's been great talking to you again. I'm going to get your dad into the frame there as well and ask him some more of the technical questions of your itinerary and what's the next on stage. But you've been great again, so I'll let you swap seats with your dad there.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much, Justin.
Thanks. Cheers.
That was amazing. Thank you.
So, Kevin,
Hi, Justin. How are you?
back again and talking about the the whole change of plans. Everest put on hold until the Chinese government decides to allow Tyler to climb. Do you think it's going to happen before he's 18?
I don't know. The first kid climber did it, and then they implemented the law to 16. A few years later, they did give an exception, and the girl did it. Then we applied for the permit this year. He was going to be given that permit, the exception this year.
Right.
And then, so yeah, when we had started planning this about a year or something ago, he was getting one of those exceptions.
Uh,
So then what happened is they changed a lot of 18 and all the controversy with, the deaths on Everest and the earthquake in Nepal and everything else. So there's been a lot of, a lot of controversy about the mountain and stuff. So they changed it to 18, and they weren't willing to give him the permit this year. So we're hoping that next year, after he hopefully conquers Denali, that they'll be willing to give him the permit. And because it depends on who you talk to, a lot of the mountaineers and in the books claim that Denali is actually a tougher mountain in a lot of aspects than Everest.
well, the interesting thing that you mentioned, well, Tyler mentioned, is that you had Sherpas ready for Everest. Now you don't have any Sherpas. So does this mean, I know you do all the climbs with Tyler. Does this mean if either one of you decides that you can't make it, it's game over?
Um, well, it'd be game over for, if I couldn't make it, it'd be game over for me, obviously, because you don't have the support that you do like on Everest. You have Sherpas helping you move your gear up the mountain. I mean,
Besides,
you're
yeah.
carrying actually a fairly light pack on Everest, whereas on Denali, you're carrying everything yourself from your own food, tent, fuel. I mean, everything you're carrying yourself and moving that up the mountain. So you're going from 7,000 feet to 20,000 feet, in that climb. So it's, as Tyler was mentioning, even himself, he'll be carrying like a 40 something pound backpack
Wow.
and probably a 50 to 60 pound sled that he'll have to drag all his own gear, the group food, everything else up the mountain himself.
So
Um,
are you going with the team? Is it going to be more than the two of you?
It'll just be Tyler and me, and then we actually will have three guides on this mountain
Okay.
with us. Because of the crevasse dangers are so big on this mountain with the snow bridges, and Denali is just known for the crevasses and the dangers involved with it. So we will have three guides helping us get up the mountain.
Now, the date is the 4th of June. Do you feel that you're ready? I know Tyler just wants to get on that plane.
He does. I've been definitely stepping up my workouts with him, doing the 2 workouts a day with him. So, it's been tiring, keep trying to keep up with him, but, I'm going to do everything I can to help him get up the mountain.
Now, of course, you leave behind family, or is your family going to travel over with you?
No, they'll stay here in California. His younger brother Dylan will be out of school, and he'll do some camps, and my wife's got to work, so she can't take a month off.
Yeah, of course. Again, it's balancing out this work thing, and once Tyler's off school, that's okay, and since the last time we spoke, Tyler seems to have his intelligence of these mountains is just unbelievable. He can just talk all day long about these mountaineering climbs.
Yeah, he loves it. It's like it's his passion. So he obviously spends some time reading about it and internet as well, and talking to other mountaineers. I mean, he just sucks up every ounce of information he can get about all the mountains he wants to climb.
I do laugh about the fact that he can't do certain mountains with the Boy Scouts, but there he is climbing mountains 2 times higher than what the Boy Scouts say he can.
Yeah, it's I understand the rules, but I mean sometimes the rules are there have to be exceptions for them, and Tyler's training the kids how to climb these mountains, yet they won't let him go till he's after age of 14. I'm kind of like, I understand, you shouldn't let most people do things, but if Tyler's not your normal kid in this aspect, I wouldn't let him go do other things that he doesn't have the training that other kids can do. It's really, it's everything's independent on the individual themselves.
Now, okay, we're going to get to the fundraising again because this is the most important thing to get you over. You're going either way. I know it's probably going to be a loan or bank loan or something, and you have a couple of sponsors as well that have been sponsoring you since the beginning, but you need to raise $40,000. So how much have you raised so far?
Right now we're probably around $1,000 is all we've raised. I mean, we kicked this off probably about a week ago is all, maybe a little less than that. Because we had to find out, I mean, for Denali, when we decided, Tyler was ready, they put him through the training to see if he could do Denali, because the plan was to do Denali after Everest because of the physical demands of it. So we opted to do Denali this year, and they wanted to make sure that Tyler had the mental ability to understand what he's doing on the mountain as far as, you're in isolation for weeks, and so that and moving all the gear. So after we decided we were going to go, we had to, the fundraise for it. Unfortunately, the financial support for Tyler climbing the mountains was all based on Mount Everest, because he would have a world record for Mount Everest, so
Of
that's where
course.
the financial support was coming from. Tyler would not be the youngest ever to do Denali. He'd probably, we don't know for sure, but probably somewhere around the third youngest. There were two boys, I think, that did it when they were 11 and a half. So Tyler would probably be, I don't think there's been anybody else when they were 12. So it's kind of hard to tell for sure once you start getting into, they had younger kids, but from
Yes.
what we can tell, it looks like Tyler would probably be the third youngest to do Denali.
Wow, it's still such an achievement, and he's pretty much the global spokesperson now for Cure Duchenne.
He is, it's wonderful that that he does it for his friends and that he's so giving, and it touches me that he does it for other kids as well. It's so, yeah, I love that he does it, and he's trying to help out, Cure Duchenne and the disease, and it's touching as a dad.
It is. It's touching even as a listener to this, and following you as a big fan throughout all his hikes now. I just want to meet him. I keep on telling you, as soon as you finish off these hikes, you have to come to Ireland and do a couple of European hikes as well.
That'd be wonderful. Yeah, we'd love to do that sort of stuff. I think Tyler, he's so set on right now conquering those 7 summits, the highest one on each continent. So if he does Denali this summer, then we're going to go down to Australia, do that one later in the summer. So that he would have 5 of the 7 done this summer if he's able to do it. So
Wow, that's and of course yourself as well.
hopefully I can make it. He's the one that's he's driving the train, so it's
Yeah.
fun watching him, reach his goals.
Yeah. Now, of course, we'll give out the website, topwithtyler.com. You have a little PayPal button there. Hopefully, even when you're finished this hike, and hopefully it's successful, you still be fundraising. So every penny counts.
It definitely does. I mean, we've had to go take out loans for Denali, and that's all just coming from, my family, myself and my wife. So that's been pretty daunting to take out a loan of that
Of
magnitude.
that size is huge, yes.
Yeah, it was, but we've been supporting Tyler all these years and what he does, and it's such a passion of his, and so usually he's fundraising for Duchenne, and he's still doing that, but unfortunately for this mountain we had to go out and fundraise for Tyler himself to be able to climb, and so he's the money will be going, people can donate to Cure Duchenne as well, and that's on the website as well. But they can also donate to Tyler to help his expenses to kind of offset some of these costs for us.
It is a sidetrack, listeners, just so Tyler can get up and do Denali and then get onto the main objective, which is climbing Everest, which the fundraising for Everest is just parked there until he can get to do it.
Exactly. Like this mountain and what we feel is going to help him to be able to get on Everest the following year. It's like we're trying to make it very difficult for people to say that Tyler doesn't have the skills and abilities to do this. I mean, he's already conquered so much already, but Denali is such a daunting mountain, and to be able to conquer mountains such as that, it kind of removes any argument people might have.
Now, are you guys going to have a satellite phone or anything when you're there?
I will have a telephone that
wow.
supposedly does get some reception on the mountain. So how much, I don't know, but I won't have a satellite, but I'll have a regular telephone, believe it or not, works at some of the camps, I've been told.
Well, off mic, we'll arrange. I'll send on a US number that we have for Scouting Radio. Whatever reports you can even give as voicemail would be absolutely super. We're going to try and support this 100% through Scouting Radio. We'll put up some PayPal links as well and see can we fundraise, because I know $40,000 as a personal loan to try and do this is amazing, and you as a dad should pat yourself on the back, because that's a super supportive father and parents that you are to send Tyler on this, and the family as well. I'd say your extended family is helping you every step of the way as well.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a team effort. It really has. The family and my wife, and all the supporters. To be honest with you, Tyler could not do what he's done without all the support, worldwide that he's received from people such as yourself and, scouting. It's really been a team effort for Tyler to be able to do what he's done. If he did this all on his own, he wouldn't be able to do it. It's, his PR person donates her time, his website person donates his time. There's a lot of people that have done amazing things to help Tyler do what he's done, and I know he appreciates it, and I appreciate all the support we've gotten worldwide.
Well, best of luck to you, Kevin, and to Tyler. 4th of June, I'm going to write it in the calendar. We're going to be watching the updates, and we'll stick up some stuff on the Scouting Radio side as well. How you donate, topwithtyler.com. There's a PayPal button in there. Best of luck. Don't break any legs. Come back safe, and we want to hear full reports and photos and videos as well.
Thank you very much, Justin. We appreciate the time today.
Great. Thanks, Kevin. Talk to you soon.